Hey everybody, it's Jim from Cigars and Other Dude Stuff. I've had this happen to me and I bet you that you have too. You're enjoying a cigar, it's a really good cigar, and you're outside and it's a nice, beautiful day. You're doing something you really want to do, reading a good book or watching a good video or listening to music or talking to a friend, whatever it is, and you look down and all of a sudden your cigar is maybe a third left at most. And it's a sad moment. So the question I have for you is how low do you go? How far do you smoke a cigar down before you finally give up on it? Like everything about cigars, there's some pretty strong opinions about this. One I saw actually said you shouldn't smoke a cigar down past the band, which I think is giving up a lot of good cigar. Another suggestion I've seen that makes a little more sense to me is the three finger rule. You should only smoke it down to where it's the length of those three fingers like that. So that's a pretty good guideline to follow, I guess. But as you know, every cigar is different. And I think there shouldn't be a hard and fast rule. I think it should just be smoke until you feel like it's time to stop. But when it comes to putting a cigar out for me, there's four things that I look at. And I think these are pretty good guidelines to follow. The first one is the cigar still in one piece or is it falling apart? I've had very bad luck with Connecticut's over the years. I get down to 2.5 or 3 inches on a Connecticut, and they tend to unravel and crack and behave in various ways that make them impossible to smoke too much further than that. So that's one obvious thing we should look at. Another one, though, is pretty obvious, is the cigar still enjoyable to smoke from a flavor standpoint? And that happens, they call it actually in the industry, they say the cigar has turned. And that's a case of the oils and nicotine and stuff building up in what's left of your cigar and creating a bitter taste or maybe a bite on your tongue that is unusually unpleasant or anything like that. I always look at when the cigar stops tasting good, that's a good time to put it down. The third thing I look at is the amount of tar and nicotine that builds up in the foot of the cigar as you smoke it. We said that certainly affects the flavor, but it can also make you a little loopy because there's a lot of nicotine in that foot area. It can make you loopy or even create a little bit of nausea. And if that starts happening, that means you're getting too much nicotine and maybe it's time to put that one down. The fourth thing, and I think this is important too, is when a cigar gets down to 2.5 inches, sometimes it's very hard to keep lit. And that has to do with the rolling and the position of the leaves and so forth when they roll it. Some cigars are better than others in that respect, but some of them, it's really hard to keep them lit when you get down to 2.5 or 2 inches. But having said that, I got to tell you, the last two cigars that I smoked have been what I would refer to as knuckle burners, where you really want to smoke them to the very end. And I have a couple pictures that I'm showing you of them. But it kind of makes my point that every cigar is different. And you should just treat that cigar as a unique thing and smoke it until it's no longer enjoyable to smoke. Let me know what you think in the comments. So I'd like to know how far you smoke cigars down, generally speaking, and if you really smoke them down, if you have any tricks on how to hold them or little tools that you use or stuff like that. So look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Jim from Cigars and Other Dude Stuff. I will see you next time.